need to talk.
I know.
So everyone's talking, of course, about this video that's gone viral about the Duncanville kid who went on his rant, and now the teacher, Julie Fung, has been placed on leave. With pay.
Yeah.
You know, and I was saying yesterday, I felt like she didn't get a fair shake because the video didn't really show what had happened prior to the kid's rant.
Or even afterwards.
Or even afterwards.
Right.
And so we don't really know her side of it, but assuming now since she's been put on paid leave, there was some sort of an issue. And maybe this boy had a point.
Maybe.
You know what I think is interesting about this whole story is that this boy, which his hair is fantastic, by the way, he's a former dropout, and he's actually returned to school and he's in sophomore classes as an 18-year-old. And so I think this child has something commendable about him, you know, to go back to school, because what kids are like, oh, I'd love to go back to school.
Because
fantastic.
Not only does he probably come up against a lot of criticism, but it would have been a lot easier probably to just go get his GED, and he chose not to do that. He chose to go back to school.
Well, and I think arguably you can say that this boy, I mean, he's taking his education seriously, and he was frustrated, and he's expecting that of his educator,
right.
And so not to defend him and to go against the teacher, but I mean.
I have a love-hate relationship with this because I love watching a student stand up but I also hate seeing a teacher disrespected in the classroom.
Right.
Yes.
And so I'm not quite sure how I feel about it until I have all that information, because I'm sure she has a pretty interesting side.
I'd love to hear the teacher's rebuttal.
And I understand they've kind of worked it out afterwards, but not fully worked it out afterwards in a session with the principal. But then the school board all comes out and they start really posing about how great Duncanville is.
I'm sure.
I love all that. That's fine, but that kind of glosses over the matter that this teacher and the student need to get together and work this out.
Yeah,
sure. Emmett made a great point yesterday when he said that because Pat was saying, like you were saying, it was disrespectful to the teacher, and if Pat would have been the teacher, she would have said, "Get out of my classroom,"
Right.
But what Emmett was saying was, then what happens traditionally is the kid will get written up, it'll go in a file folder somewhere, it'll disappear, and nothing will ever be done about it. And at least this way it was kind of brought to the forefront.
It was on a cell phone.
It's an issue that everyone's talking about now, yeah. So, I don't know, but you hate to see a teacher.
But then I argue then the other side of this. I mean, I've been defending this boy, but I look at the teacher and I think there's days that, all of us go into work and we're just like over our jobs. It's like, we know we don't put out like our 100%. We know, I'm sure teachers some days are like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to give them a packet today and just the weekend starts tomorrow and just like put on a video. I mean, I remember going into school and when you rolled in and you saw that TV sitting in the front of the classroom, you were like, yes. So
right.
I mean, who's to say that teachers can't have like a get out of jail free card day one day? But if this is a reoccurring thing that's happening in the classroom, then that's where the problem is.
Those teachers are frustrated with the system probably quite a bit too.
Right.
So there's a lot to work out there, but at least it brings the dialogue out.
Yeah.
I think the dialogue's worth having, and I like that it's happening.
So we look at female advertising, and it always seems to be.
I look at a lot of female advertising.
Yes, I don't think that's called advertising, but
I've noticed it.